he said we're back, man. He's back. We be back.
But wow. I actually got to refine the tag. So everyone knows this is Insanity Check Radio.
Shit, wow, I gotta sit back now.
Yeah, I said Insanity Check Radio and I'm Skillosaurus Ken 8 over there. And all of this content can be found on our Twitter page, which is at Insanity Check 12. You can check us out and join our Google Plus circles, which is Insanity Check Radio. You can also check us out at Pinterest, Insanity Check Radio, Instagram, Insanity Check Radio, and in the video enhanced form on our YouTube channel, which is also called Insanity Check Radio.
All right, let's get to the story.
All right, so
another classic here. Another Insanity Check classic, which I'm actually worried when I say that because somehow I have a feeling that when people hear an Insanity Check classic, they're gonna believe there's just some cannibalism involved in this shit. With all the fucking cannibal stories you've pushed on us over the past few months and shit.
This is a real gem. It's sad and it's hysterical at the same
hilarious.
time.
Completely hilarious.
I mean, just the title: Man leaps to his death
to
in
his
shopping mall after girlfriend insists on more shopping. Now this is not a sketch. Apparently, this is a legitimate story.
If it's true, we kind of I feel obligated to not say this because with all the fucking bullshit stories that people put on the internet. But if this is true, this is hilarious.
Eyewitnesses said Sayo could be heard telling his girlfriend that they already had more bags.
And
than
this
they
is in China,
China,
right?
yeah.
China.
That they had more bags than they could carry. But she insisted on hitting one more store where there was a sale on shoes. An eyewitness said he told her she already had enough shoes, more shoes that she could wear in a lifetime. And it was pointless buying anymore. She started shouting at him, accusing him of being a skinflint and of spoiling Christmas. It was a really heated argument. The argument
not even a Grinch who spoiled Christmas. A skinflint. Which is what? I mean, can we analyze that for a second?
I guess it's just a mean person like a Grinch.
I understand what's meant. I'm just trying to get the derivation from skin and flint.
Yeah, I actually don't know. If anyone out there knows the exact term of where the term skinflint came from,
let's head to Google. You go ahead and read. I'll be doing something over here.
I figured 8 would know what skin it back means, but not necessarily skin flint. But in any case, I'm going to read the rest of this. The argument continued until Sayo threw the bags on the floor and himself over the balcony, dropping 7 stories to his death and smashing Christmas decorations on the way down. He was killed on the impact. A spokesman for the mall said his body was removed fairly quickly. He actually landed on one of the stalls below and then fell to the floor. So although the store was damaged, it meant he didn't hit anybody. This is a tragic incident, but this time of year can be very stressful for many people. Now, first of all, I thought this was a joke because this dude went out like villains in 1980s action movies. Because it's not that he just flipped over the shit. He had to go breaking through all sorts of stuff, hollering on the way to his doom. So
I'm sorry, I didn't hear any part about him hollering.
Well, he was fucking hollering. Probably when he hit that first, batch of ornaments and bulbs breaking and popping and shit as he's going through them, he probably started to holler. And it just shows you that, this whole thing about Christmas is a crock of shit. All right, people are stressed during this time of year. People feel they're obligated to splurge and do all of this other kind of stuff because I guess assumably they feel that, it's going to come back to them or whatever. And it's just a high stress time. And apparently, the whole spirit of Christmas, according to this couple or this woman, was allowing her to splurge and purchase more and more things, and anything to dissuade her from doing that was being skin flintish or what have you.
Which, by the way, may I interject? Us black people, we get no fucking love. Skinflint. A niggardly person.
What?
A miser. Flintstones, and not Fred version, but actual flint stones, were used in olden days to start a fire. The term skinflint derives from the idea that a miserly person would go to the extreme of skinning a flint, or, in other words, using a flint until it was as thin as skin in order to save money.
Oh, I see.
We entertain and we educate.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, that's what it is. So a miserly person that, I guess didn't want this woman to have her extra pair of shoes. And, I could imagine this one, plenty. I could see this like something like this on a Family Guy. I could see something like this on those less than politically correct cartoons and sitcoms that's out there. At least envisioning killing themselves. 'Cause I remember Archie Bunker used to do it all the time. He would pantomime, loading the gun and shooting himself in the head when his wife was giving him the business. And
she just wouldn't shut the.
She wouldn't shut the fuck up. So let that be a lesson to you women, man. Sometimes y'all just need to shut the fuck up because. The sad part is, okay, this dude is brains is splattered. People have been traumatized by seeing this guy opened up at the bottom of this fucking mall and shit. And did this woman really get? I mean, did she get what she wanted? I mean, what when you drive a person to that, and I guess without getting into the whole male female thing, but it just like that was a question I've always asked women. Throughout the course of my life. At what point, is it? Do you continue to push whatever envelope or boundaries or whatever to where it actually gets into the way of your own enjoyment or your own I won't say entertainment but having your own experience, your own positive experience, because this dude was they obviously have different ends of the spectrum. I mean, she probably didn't realize that this guy was at wit's end willing to kill himself, and and let's say he didn't and he just internalized that. Would somebody want somebody to be with them if they're like totally, being corroded from the inside out, miserable? So, and it goes both ways. I mean, I'm pretty sure if a dude was elbowing his chick and MMAing her every fucking night or something like that, why would you want somebody living in physical fear of you or what have you? So, I mean, to me, I just, I thought about the grand picture of this, but I also thought about this guy hollering, busting through all those damn lights and candy canes and shit and hitting the bottom.
You know what? I think this is really funny because, and I'm surprised you didn't say this, the image that pops into my head, or at least it just popped into my head, was that movie. Well, yeah, you love it because you love like shitty movies, but that scene where that fucking monster, I guess the humans were getting the better of him, and that motherfucker dove out that window.
Oh my God, you're talking about no, see, I know what you're talking about. No, I actually, okay, you're talking about It's Alive 3.
Yeah,
when that bitch hit that motherfucker in the head with that phone. Oh my God, man, that shit was terrible. But no, I was actually thinking of The Long Kiss Goodnight. Because remember, Gina Davis told that dude he was gonna die screaming, motherfucker, and she shot him up or whatever, 80s movie or early 90s movie or whatever, and he fell down and hit all of those Christmas ornaments, exploding through mad shit, of course, screaming and dying like a motherfucker before coming to an abrupt stop on some kind of, I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, I guess, stacked on TNT because that shit blew up. So, so good old 80s, 90s movies and shit. But that's what I thought of. But either way, it immediately was funny, and then it turned into tragedy because this man literally had enough to where death was his first and only option. I'm not smacking the shit out of her, not dropping all the bags and saying, what, fuck you and fuck these bags, and just, walking home. The dude was like, because he probably felt that poor bastard that, eventually she was going to come home. And he had to deal with that shit. So he rather death, which is fucked up. But,
I mean, I like, and the other aspect of the story that I like is, how basically just matter of factly these people reported this shit.
Oh, yeah.
A spokesman for the mall had this to say about the incident. His body was removed quickly. He actually landed on one of the stalls below and then fell to the floor. So although the store was damaged, it meant he didn't hit anybody.
So they didn't give a fuck. So they just reported it.
This is a tragic incident, but this time of year can be very stressful on many people. Like that was it. That's our statement.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. I mean, I said a hell of a lot more. Just seemed to be a little bit more compassionate about the situation and the tragedy of the situation, because basically he's dead and she's traumatized, or at least I hope she's traumatized. That her mate. And I wonder. It would be interesting to find out how a person would she internalize it and feel somewhat responsible? Would she just say that he was chemically balanced?
How do you explain this to your family? We went shopping, and I just wanted one more pair of shoes, and he just went berserk and dove off of a 7th-floor balcony to his fucking death.
Spinning and spiraling to his doom and shit, making that sound coupled with a whole bunch of explosions and light bulbs popping and shit. But, you're like... Obviously, this motherfucker increased in mass as he was falling.
Oh, by the way, one of our but the Facebook people, Jay, he actually commented. He said you do a very good job of your placement of the sound effects.
Wow. Who is this Jay?
He's just 8's over there. He's like, oh, let me just hit this button real quick.
Yeah. Now, who is this Jay dude?
Actually, he's one of my former coworkers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hello, Jay. Thank you.
He wants to come on the show.
Oh, word? What does he do?
I don't know. I told him you have to fucking do something, or he has to at least start crying about something for ratings.
Yeah. He can't just come in and come and sit. He just wants to watch us. But if he's actually going to get on air, he has to say something.
Yeah. Well.
Unless he plays handball. If he plays handball,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, look, he plays handball. You put ball.
There you go. He's learning, folks.
Whatever.
He's learning.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, there's no surprise by now that yes, we laugh at people dying, but it's not that the man is dead. It's sad that he's dead.
It's just the coldness of the article
and the
image. You see, this is what happens to television, man. It's just television and movies and fuck things up to where you become desensitized because there should be, when I first read this, the first thing that should have hit me was, damn, what a tragedy. But when I read this shit, I bust out laughing because I'm immediately thinking of some, like I said, some 80s action movie where motherfuckers, it had to be a combination death in the 80s movies. You couldn't just get shot. I remember at the end of beginning of Action Jackson, it was bad enough that they shot this dude with some kind of bomb launcher that sent him out the window completely encased in flames. I mean, this motherfucker was completely, not a part of him was showing, just a ball. He looked like a human torch. But then he was hollering the entire time. Mm-hmm. How he stayed alive through his honor. Then he plummets like fucking 90 stories through a skylight down into something else. While they stood there flexed out with their fucking guns and shit. And I'm like, yo, what kind of madness is this? And that's the kind of movies we grew up with. So it's desensitized us because, man leaves to his death and shopping mall after girlfriend insists on more shopping. Should be a tragedy, but, I mean, it is a tragedy, but it's just, it's just terrible. And guess what? That's light fare compared to the kids growing up watching that zombie shit, whatever the fuck that garbage is. I don't like that show. The number one rated show, The Walking Dead. I don't like that show. And playing these video games and all this other kind of stuff. Like, video game I got on my phone, Dead Trigger. All I'm doing is boat motoring fucking zombies all day and just terrible stuff.
The zombie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just with the killing and the wanton violence, the Grand Theft Auto games where people don't even play the missions, they just drive around fucking people up because that's more fun.
Or fucking prostitutes, but that's
Yeah, I mean every vice that energy. You could possibly think of. So I can only imagine how this new generation is totally desensitized and stuff. Like they could probably really watch this stuff happen and be like, oh
yeah, but if they're being pussified, then they might be having nightmares or some shit.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Anyway, we'll be back in 2.
We're trying to